So supposedly, Thomas Massey has lost the election. I don't know if I believe he really lost, though. So let's get into it.
All men are created equal. From the chains of chattel slavery to today, we exist in debt slavery. We are engaged in a great class war, testing which class can decide the history of the American civilization to set our new path forward to continue our civilization's history. To end the chains of debt slavery. As Abraham Lincoln said in his Gettysburg Address, it is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work, which they who have fought here must so far nobly advance. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they have gave the less full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain.
So as we all know, Thomas Massey is one of those guys who actually has been standing up against Israel, actually standing up against the Epstein class, actually standing up in regards to multiple different wars, like the war of Iran, the war of Russia, with the funding of Ukraine. Thomas Massey is actually one of the most legitimate people within Congress. The only person that seems to meaningfully represent the American people on a consistent basis. What you saw with those who were running against him, they were getting millions of dollars of campaign donations from Zionist entity organizations. We already know campaign donations and the corrupt American system is what it is. So that part's not necessarily surprising. In fact, the whole thing with Thomas Massey getting kicked out of his seat is not surprising. Look, when you look at the American government, consistently, they do not represent American interest. And if we're expecting the American government to allow someone within political office that actually meaningfully represents the American people, we're not actually looking at reality. Honestly, Thomas Massey, with all things considered, should feel lucky he wasn't JFK'd. Feel lucky he wasn't eliminated from our political system in the worst possible way. So anyone who actually supports Thomas Massey, I think you need to start looking at an alternative system outside of our two-party politics, outside of electoralism in general. Millions of dollars just to be able to kick Thomas Massey out of office shows that American politicians, if they dare actually represent the American people in any meaningful way, are going to be kicked to the curb. They're going to have their elections effectively rigged. You're not going to fix the system from the inside. You need to build your own system under the nose of those in power, which that's exactly what the American Communist Party is trying to do.